Hi, I'm live. I'm a little bit early because I want to make sure that the screen looks right. And I can't do that. If I touch buttons, things go away and tech support gets very angry. He's really sweet, but I don't blame him. Who wants to do anything twice? So, that's where we are. Patrick, can you come turn the ring light on that's on the computer?
On the camera?
Mm-hmm. There, thank you. Now I don't look so completely weird.
Whiskey?
So, welcome to the garden. I'm waiting for somebody to show up. I've got 3 viewers, it says. Oh, I think I know who they are. Hi, T. Jones. I'm going to wait a little bit before, unless you have a specific question, now's the time to type it in because nobody's ahead of you in the chat. Okay. Oh, Rose is on too. Hello, Rose. I've kind of got the board set up. When you get, Patrick, I have an echo. Tech support's coming. We're going to get rid of it.
You shouldn't have an echo.
I have one. I have one.
Yeah, you're hearing it. They aren't.
Oh, they aren't? Okay.
They aren't. Trust
Okay.
me.
We are here. Hello. I guess I'll go over kind of like if you buy the garden, what it comes in. First of all, it comes in this handy dandy little tube. Put it down here. It's easier for you to see.
I killed your echo.
Okay, thank you. Oh, it was my phone.
No.
Okay.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. It comes with this tube, and on the tube there's a little QR code. So if you're out and about and you've got your game with you and you don't remember what all the crystals are, this goes to a page on my website that has all the crystals that are in there and kind of the definition. The same spreadsheets that I showed you yesterday, they're actually online. So you can access them, and so you don't have to carry around these bulky pieces of paper. Okay, what do you get when you get the grid? When you get the garden? Excuse me, I shouldn't have 2 products that start with G. It gets very confusing. You get the scarf, which is made out of satin, and someone wrote me yesterday and said, is there some way to seal this? I'm going to talk to my designer and see if she knows of a way to seal this. We picked satin because we tried several different fabrics, and this was the one that was most easy to wash, and it kept coming back looking the same. My designer picked this color scheme because somebody asked me, can they change the color scheme? My favorite crystals are fluorites, in case you don't, not looking at my screen and seeing purple and seeing my dragonfly with the heart chakra mixed together, sitting on top of a bunch of purple that's not amethyst, that's fluorites. These are all the color scales of fluorite. Fluorite can go from white to dark purple, and it's got greens and blues and yellows and everything in between. That's why I really like it. And I've always really... Okay, I've got a question. What I should do with these. But anyway, this shape that she made, put the garden in, the paths through the garden, that's actually based on... My designer also had a degree in geology. This is based on a schematic of what a fluorite crystal looks like, except this would be a point at the top. And someone has asked the rather intriguing question of, what direction should I go with my Burmese? Are you talking about a language, or are you talking about a cat? Anyway, maybe I'll figure it out when I lay out the stones, but we'll see. Okay, this is something you're very emotionally tied to because you've got your mind, your body, and your values are wound up in whatever the project about the Burmese is true. It's true to your spirit. It's a part of If it's the country, the language, or whatever, it's something that your soul is drawn to. And it says, for clarification, it's like, go for it. So whatever you're doing with Burmese, whether it's a cat or a language, it looks like it's a go for it. Now, I have one lady who's shown up who sent me, oh, it's a business in Burmese. Well, it's going to go well. And it's something that you're well familiar with and you're skilled at. I had a lady who wrote me twice last night and said, what about my long arm quilting machine? She wants to get one. And so what's the situation around her long arm quilting machine? And you've been misled in the past on this machine. Some things have, when you clarified it, it didn't work. You're not quite ready for it yet, but I see you moving towards it, that your values move towards it. Your spirit's exactly locked in between air, earth, fire, and water, which means when you get this machine, it's going to really balance you. What you need to work for is, this is in the past. This is the energy of the past. There's some mental block you yourself are actually putting up to getting the machine, and it's a false pattern. You should not be tied to it. You need to really work on just seeing yourself, emotionally feeling what it's going to be like when you sit at your long arm quilting machine. I don't know if people even know what that is, but I went to a big national quilting show that was here in the town where I live, and the things these quilters produce is absolutely incredible, and some of it they do with machine work, and it was absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to just do a mind for you on I'm going to try a time thing. I've figured out kind of how to use time in this. I'm going to see if it'll work out. I'm going to do it in 3, 6, 9, or a year. You're going to get it. Yep, you're going to get it in the next 6 months. This is winter, this is spring, but this is 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. It's like a clock face. And I'd say you're getting it in 6 months. You could get it as close as 6 weeks, but I don't think that's true. I think it's when you finally speak your own truth and get as clear as you can in your body about why you want this, it'll work. Okay. What direction should my business? Okay, I'm going to do one more thing for the poor Burmese person because I had it confused with a cat, and it's a business. So we're going to try. Okay. It's definitely the path forward for you and with your values and what you believe. Do you have past connections in Burma, or maybe you have a past life actually in Burma? But it shows that your spirit's moving there in the future, and whatever blockages you've had are moving away from you. This is in the east. This is the earth. It's moving towards the west. So the blockages and what's ever been standing in front of you is going away. It looks like it's a good deal at the end of the day. Okay. Terry Ortega about a promotion. Okay, we're going to start with the values coin first, and then we'll do a clarification. The situation around Terry's promotion. It's something you really, really, really want to have. I see that you love it, and your heart's very much in it. So let's see if the rest of the stones are going to help you get with it. Oh, good. It's a change for you. It's a very creative role. And I see all of the stones are moving into the future. So your spirit's moving into the future, your mind is, and your body is. And your body's also moving into air. You're beginning to really feel like this is part of you. I think you're going to get it, Terry. I do. They're just taking their own sweet time. And it's also, the beginning of summer, the world slows down and nothing moves fast. Okay, I'm looking at some of the questions. I think you can see them too. No blockages, T. Jones. That's good. Okay, Andrea, I think you wrote me yesterday, and I went to put your email in a place so I could write you a longer explanation. I think you were looking for a distance healer that I know, and you want to transition in your health. So let's see what the situation is around your health, and we're going to throw the body first because That's where our health resides. In that sense. Crap. We're going to do that one again because I didn't know it was very good. Okay. Yes, your body, you've started the progress to get your body to where it needs to go. We're going to roll out the rest of them. Okay. You're going to your clarification is coming for you very soon. You've got true and true for values and for spirit. I think that the work and the spiritual path are going to come along for you. I think you're getting the body under control. You don't have it there yet. Okay. I have a Leticia who wants to know if her financial situation is going to change. So we're going to start with a crux stone, which is values. That's pyrite. It's values. And okay. Wants me to restate it. Okay. Let's see if her finances are in a position of change. Yes, but they're coming out of some old... You're going to go back, I think, with some people you worked with before. I'm not really sure, but let's see. Okay. All right. Your mind is in the right frame to do this. Sometimes, people go into interviews. You can almost watch them in the interview, losing the interview. But I think you're in a great space about knowing exactly how to handle the interview. Your spirit's in air and the clarity's in air. In other words, your thoughts are really clean about this. And your body is being enlightened. So these are great positions for this. But I think you may need to look back at someone you've worked with before or a friend you've worked with before. They may be able to help you because that's what I would see with the values coming out of the past. Okay? Patty, no, you didn't get here too late. I've been going maybe 5 minutes. Actually, I've been going 12 minutes. Time flies when you're having fun. I was in the process of explaining kind of how the structure of the garden, how he came up with it, and what it says and what it does. If you don't, there's 8 spaces on the outer edge, and those are the 7 chakras and the tree of life. And the tree of life I added because I've had some pretty meaningful readings and meditations where the tree of life runs through you just like the chakras run up and down, and they go down root into the earth, and they also go up into the upper sky where you're unified with your greater consciousness. So they start with the root chakra. Third eye. Root, sacral. Root is security, and that's I am. Sacral is I create. Solar plexus is our action. It's our power. It's I do. Heart is I love. Throat is where we speak our truth. It is the truth. The third eye is insights. The crown chakra is enlightenment. And all of those put together growing into oneness where we feel totally unified in what we're doing is the tree of life. And then the other spaces here are go for it, true, future, present, path forward, false. And false means either the situation we're outlining is not being seen clearly, so it's false, or the presupposition of how we put the situation together is false. Restate really means think about what you're saying. Is that really what you meant to ask? And the past is the past, and that means that the energy that whatever stone falls in there, if it's the mind, your mind's in the past. If it's your body's in the past. If it's your values are coming out of the past. And like I told you guys, I envisioned this board in February. And, wait, I just dropped. Well, that's not a great... Who did I drop? I dropped the mind. Of course I would, because that's going to be the hardest one to find down here. I found it. Okay, sorry about the dead air there. I've been working with it since Alma did the first scarf in the end of March, 1st of April. So there's a lot of things that I'm still learning about it. Like I've had recently a vision that I can do time on this, which if you're a tarot reader, that's so much fun because time in tarot sucks. We're really bad at it. Our cards are not made for that, for the most part. So this, I'm hoping to play with it and figure out how to look at time. And then I am happy with this creation because, I had people before say, well, you ought to write a book about tarot. There's a lot of different ways I could look at it, but what I really wanted to do, I did not know I was going to create anything like this. This didn't exist until I saw it in my mind, brought it through, and then almost started doing her woo-woo magic on it and made it wonderful. And then I went back in and started. It's where all the crystal study I've been doing kind of led to, figuring out the stones, figuring out how to make it balance. I love the scarf. We wanted to design a scarf that you could wear if you wanted to. Now this scarf is 16 by 16. The first scarf we built, the first one we printed, was 24 by 24. And believe me, that's one big scarf when you're casting stones across it. And this is our prototype scarf. And everything except, besides like crown, it says enlightenment, but you can't hardly see it. I can hardly see it when I'm sitting here. We didn't realize it looked great on, it's great in the planning and the graphic. Then you look at it and you realize things are fading away and they're not going where you want them to go. The other reason I wanted to design this is I wanted something people could have more than, not just an oracle deck, but more than pulling a card out of an oracle deck or something, some way that people could physically feel connected to their thoughts and to their actions. And so that our thoughts are not just waves. When they're out here and they're like this, they're a particle. And then we learn how to connect the waves that are our thoughts to the particles that we're creating ahead of us, so how to manifest. Do crystals speak to you? Some are warm and fuzzy, and in the game, yeah, they do speak to me. I'll see a crystal, and I'll look back at my infamous cheat sheet, and I'll look at what I've decided it should be, and yet I'll feel it's that or something more, or maybe that's not the right emphasis. But like we're going to take the body crystal, the fusite, around the chakras. In the root chakra, the body means connection to security through physical form. In the sacral chakra, it means energy that will be freed by using your creativity. Solar plexus, it says the body will bring forth power. So in other words, what's going on with your body is an expression of your power. The heart says physical form tied to the freedom of your heart. In other words, if your heart's free and open, your physical form can go do what you want to. But I've read a lot of people who had all of a sudden one side or the other of their body. I don't know if you guys understand about the polarity of our bodies, but I'm right-handed. So right's my doing side, left is my receiving side. So if I do for people and I don't get any feedback back, something's going to happen to my right side. It's going to start to hurt. It's going to start to scream. It's going to start to say, this isn't working well. The other one is one time I had everybody at where I worked, they kept saying, you need to raise your prices. This is when I was doing table readings. And I was like, no, I've charged that forever. And that literally was the truth. I had charged it forever. And I went to get a body massage. My son took me to the wine country, which was just delightful. And we were at a spa, and he got me a full body massage. And the guy was doing my right side, and he goes, man, your right's so open, and da-da-da-da. He got to my left side of my body, and it was like frozen. He said, I feel like I'm working on two different people here. Well, I knew immediately what it was. I was very, very freely giving, but my body was telling me, we're not getting enough on the left side. So we're going to cramp up on you. We're going to lock down. So that's kind of how body energy works. Then when you get the body and it lands in the throat chakra, that's an expression of truth through your actions of your body. Then the third eye, its insight needs to be expressed physically. In other words, it's one thing to have all kinds of great visions in your third eye, but if you don't physically bring them into this world, make them real, make them part of your body, it won't work. And then crown is enlightenment, and it means light force. The light force of life needs to be guided by a physical principle. And I think I've talked a little bit about my weight loss, probably more than I should have. But one of the things was I had to be really clear about how my choosing to hold on to that extra weight was blocking me from moving forward. And once I did that, then weight loss actually for me was very easy. It was just I kind of let it go. I found the right diet. I found the right way to do it. And I just let it go. And I didn't have to hold on to all that weight anymore. I could express who I was and be enlightened and not weigh 300 pounds. Literally enlightened by 100 pounds. And the tree of life, if you get the body in the tree of life, it says seek harmony through your physical form. So that's kind of how the cheat sheet works. It gives you a broad brush theory of how to go with things. Rocks are very, very old. Now, are rocks alive? That's a question I get a lot. I think they do express stuff to us. I think that one thing I did learn a long, long time ago is if you have a crystal and it disappears or you can't find it or it goes away, its work's done with you. So whatever was in that crystal is done with you. And I don't know if you've ever seen desert roses. They're little sandstone sort of things, and the wind blows them, and they actually look like little roses. They look like little rosebuds. I did a show on them. It's a form of selenite. And the Native Americans believe that every one of those selenites has a spirit that's been locked in there from the earth to help us. So, oh, Patty, yeah, I think I have seen your emails. I'll make double sure. But I'll put your name in, and if on the list, and if I don't have an email for you, I'll announce it on my show. Oh, thank you. I like my garden too. I'm trying to think about. Oh, someone wants to know what's the deal with their solar plexus. So we're going to lay stones into her solar plexus and hope. Oh, I know what I did. I picked up. Oh, the stones on the outside, I got some questions about that. This is serpentine. It's a very common, it's really, really green. You can't hardly tell that in this, but it's really, really green. And when serpentine gets pressurized enough and pushed enough around the earth, it becomes jade. And there's actually a pre-serpentine that's a gem sort of quality. This is not a gem quality serpentine. This is a rough serpentine. This is white agate, and it has to do with air. It's got the power of air because it's light and white, and it's a sturdy little stone. This is quartz, and quartz is my stone for the earth. And this is I have a hard time. There's like 3 silica stones. It is angelite. This is angelite, and it's actually I know you think angel's up in the air, right? No, but it's not. Angelite is water. That's what I was told to put it. So we're going to go and look at someone's solar plexus, which is their power. Okay, what landed on your solar plexus when I aimed it that way is your body and your actual values are there. What is not connected to your solar plexus right now, and solar plexus, remember, is power, and it's the yellow of the chakra rings. It's kind of the best image I've ever seen of it's like a little solar system. It's got a little sun that pumps out things and gives you power. What's right next to it, what ended next to it is spiritual matters need to be restated. You need to look at how you're handling something spiritually. And out of the past, it's your mind and your clarification. I think something in your past will help you clarify how to move forward, but you've got the stones in your solar plexus to move forward, so go for it. You don't have to put the crystals outside. You don't have to put them in the moonlight. It's nice if you want to. I always say what you need to do with them is just make sure when you come back in the morning they'll be there, or sit out in the moonlight with them. We had a beautiful supermoon. We'll have another really incredible moon. The next full moon will be really, really, really bright. And so look for that. I'm blanking on the full moon. I don't have my charts and things. Anybody else have a question, or do you want about how the board is, about acquiring it? I think there's something below that tells you, takes you right to the Shopify store. We've been very gratified by the number of you that have liked seeing things in the store. I did an hour yesterday, and that is a lot. When I got up, I was really feeling kind of queasy, so I think I'm going to cut today off at 45 minutes, which gives us like about another 10. And then I have some other things I need to finish up. I have some people whose grids I need to box today so I can take them to the post office tomorrow. I mean, that's just part of my life and my work ethic, but I'm also 72. For those of you who don't know, I tell everybody what my age is. I have no qualms about that. One of the things I had posted that I thought I would like to do is the next 6 months ahead. And so what I'm going to do is blind pull the stones into a bag. When you get your gardens, you're going to have much better looking bags than this. What this was is, it was the closest bag I could find to the size I thought it was going to have to fit into this tube, and we needed to see what worked. So this is a prototype bag. Okay, for the next 6 months. Okay, the next 6 months is going to have a lot to do with how our body reacts to things. So where are we going in the next 6 months? Okay. Oh, that's cool. It landed right at the corner of True and Tree of Life, which is harmony, which means physically, and I really think this is true because I did do a 6-month reading with cards, and I think we are going to finally quit being so afraid about our own physical health. I mean, Lord knows we've had more than enough reason to be worried about it. And I think that the next 6 months are going to find us moving into the situation around this next 6 months is going to be us finding a new harmony and to truly feel what our body's feeling. I think there's just a lot. I know I live in a blessed part of the world where my vaccines were totally active by the 20th of February. We didn't know for sure because they were still sort of checking us, but I've been able to kind of go around and go out if I wanted to. I still didn't go out. I still was afraid. This Saturday, now guys, I did the big brave thing. I walked into a Michael's. I mean, I had a mask on, but I had to go in and get a couple things from the Michael's. And I was the people got to know me at the curb because I buy a lot of my picture frames and glues and things from Michael's. Not to give them a pitch, but they have all the stuff I need. And they had a great curbside service, and they got to know me. I mean, the purple hair kind of helps, but they really got to know me. And I walked in the store, and one of the clerks saw me and she said, "Oh, you came in the store." I mean, this is what this stone's about. It's us feeling free to go move where we are. I actually went into another store and I forgot to put my mask on, and I couldn't figure out why is everybody staring at me, because I never went out enough for the mask thing to become like a habit. And then I realized I don't have a mask on. So I realized now I really need a t-shirt that says I've been Pfizered since February of 2021. Anyway, we're going to do kind of a grand roll on the next 6 months. And guys, split up and go around. Okay, our spirits in our heart. I think a lot of people are going to feel their spirits softening. Our mind is going to be the power generator. We're going to have to mentally get over so many of these things that we've built up, because like solar plexus for the mind, when you end up with this here, It's power through connecting all of your forces through your mind. So, and I think that's perfectly true. I think our values and our clarity is going to come out of what's happened in the past. But I think this is really kind of nice when we think about we're going into a period of time where we're going to have to harmonize. We're going to have to realize what's physically happening around us is the truth. We're going to use our mind to bring all those powers together again. I like this one. Let me see in the heart. For the spirit in the heart, it says, spirit makes the heart come alive. And I think there's going to be kind of a reawakening that happens within us. And guys, see, don't worry about, do I have to use that cheat sheet forever? I'm not intending to have to use it forever, but I'm going to use it right now because I want to double check, because all of the words in here I channeled in about 3 weeks ago after working with the garden for a while and I was holding the stone and saying, okay, what's it mean here? What's it mean here? And I was just typing out answers. And, they were coming from somewhere. In earth, we have grounding is more will be being brought forward for us in this 6 months. And the clarity is you have many paths ahead of you. The correct one will appear in the future. I think there's a lot of us, we're not sure where we're going. I know I talked to one client and she said, I really don't want to go back out in the world. I did a reading for her and I said, you really liked being locked down. And she said, yes, I did. Oh, okay. I have one guest request and I'm going to show you. This is a grid that's not boxed yet. It's about to be. She caught me in time. I'm coming back, I promise. This is a guest request. She wants people to see her grid. This is a lady who's in the chat room who ordered a grid this month. And this is a grid she chose. And it's gorgeous. It's called Attraction. And it's got all that wonderful yellow calcite. It's got the amethyst around it to keep her calm, because that yellow calcite could really rev you up. It's got a bloodstone in the middle, which is a stone about reconnecting us to our emotions and to things that have happened to us in the past. But this is her grid. She wanted to see it. So, I promise it's going to be in the mail tomorrow. I was working on the paperwork. Besides getting the grid, on the back is a matrix that tells you every stone that's on there, where it's placed, why I put it on there, and how it relates to the card you chose. She chose Attraction. That's what it's about. Then I send a letter along with it about how to fire it up. And if you go back, I think about a week and a half ago, I did a show on how to fire up a grid in case you're interested in that part of my world. But we're talking garden here. And you can use your grids forever. The one I built in March of 2019 is still back here humming away on my desk. Yeah, Jennifer got it. Anyway, the grids led to this, and even though I sometimes called it's like my kids, I'll call Patrick Sean Patrick. Casey, I kind of know she's a girl, so I don't screw her up nearly as much. I do call her after my old dog Shelly, because that is a girl name. But I get my grids in my garden sometimes mixed up when I'm speaking. And also, thank you. If I really say something that sounds stupid, let me know, because some woman I said earth, wind, fire, earth, wind, air, and fire or something. Anyway, what it worked out is I kind of left water out, and I put air in there twice. But you get definitions of all these terms if you're not aware of them. I use more of the shamanistic terms, and I just, it's a way to break out of the patterns you've had. It's a way to help you refocus your energy, and it's for you. I've had a lot of readers contact me, and I got a long note from a woman who wants to talk to me about how to really use it because she really wants to do readings in public with it. I know that I've got a couple of other readers other than Andrea. Andrea got hers, and she's gone nuts up in Canada. But I have a couple of other readers that are getting theirs this week. For some reason, the prototype grids got to some artist friends and stuff I was sharing it with, and people who are on the verge of becoming psychic, and I wanted a non-reader person to see how they could relate to it. All those people got their grids sort of right away, but one reader I sent it to, now the Postal Service can't even find the tube, and it got mailed with everybody else. So I'm sending her another one tomorrow. I hope it gets to Colorado. Anyway, I'm glad everybody's sort of chit-chatting with each other on there. I'm hoping that people will... There's one person whose name I see on here, and I could probably have walked it to her house faster in order to get it. But all of the rest of the grids, what you're looking at now is a prototype. The last final draft and all the paperwork and everything is being put together. My kidder will have the scarves within a week because that was the most expensive part for me to get. And we're going to be kitting them up, and we're hoping to have our first big mail out on the 14th of June. And I'm going diving right back into resolving the problem of the egg. It's not a big problem. I think we figured it out, but so I can take care of that, and then I can rest because I'm kind of... It's been a dash. When I started this, I thought, oh, this will be fun. We can create something different and new. I had no idea how it would accelerate to get it done. And there's a reason I've been told that every person needs to become more aware of their spiritual side, and this gives them a mirror to look in to do that. So, oh, no, okay, will a garden work for anyone who wants to use it? Yes. If you have a garden and you have a bunch of friends over, they can take turns casting the stones. Now, who wants to do the interpretation, that's kind of up to you. Or you can just hand them the sheet and say, this is your answers. It's designed to be used kind of more as a meditative tool. And I told you meditation means to become familiar with. And it's to make you familiar with how these patterns work in your life or don't work. And what you, like I said, it's a garden, man. You grow plants, you grow weeds. But I totally anticipate that someday people will sit around with their cards and read, just like we do now. I've done it a couple times at the wine bar that I used to read tarot at. I've just met people. It's not been for paid reading. It's been people who I knew enough about their life that I could kind of get a sense if where I was going was true. And it's a lot of fun. And I hope that the people who choose to get this, the spiritual critters that you are, you'll use it that way. We're anticipating in the future to have sets of stones, 3 stones that are your birth sign, your ascendant, tying them to astrology. They won't be rough stones like this. The difference is going to be they're going to be smoother stones, mostly because I wanted to make them a different thing. These are your base stones. This is what you need. This is it right from Mother Earth, not screwed with any way, shape, or form. And I kind of like you saw in the attraction grid, for her grid and the power and the frequency that we're trying to create with that grid, the rough stones make sense, but she's also got those lovely polished Amazonite, which are one of my favorite stones too. Anybody else have a... Yeah, some people do. Somebody just commented, I need to weed my garden. Boy, is that ever the truth. Do I still frequent that bar? Yes, I do, and I know how to reach you, Michelle, my belle, and I know you're just a city away from me, and so I go over on Sunday afternoons, but obviously not this week. But I go over there on Sunday, and they're very indulgent, and they let me have a whole table all to myself. And they're very good about when we all needed to socially distance and do all that. They have a beautiful patio. I can't read my stones on the patio, although that's was one of the thoughts behind creating the 4 cornerstones. Other than when I thought of it, I realized, no, energetically it needs that. Anybody else have a particular chakra you want me to look at? And then we're going to close this up because I've got about 5 minutes left in me, kids. And then I'm going to turn into a old retired lady who knits. Oh, I meant to bring up a piece of my knitting. I'm knitting this weird kind of Afghan, and each square is different. And I'm learning all sorts of new stitches. And I was thinking about that when people say, well, this might be too hard for me to follow and understand. Trust me, when I start those little squares, I rip it out and go back and forth back until I'm confident I understand the pattern. As soon as you understand the pattern, it's clear as day. People who don't believe in what? Somebody says, will this work for people who don't believe? You can... One of the precepts I have when I teach tarot, and I've taught other things, is, okay, somebody wants their sacral chakra done. I won't cosmically spy on people. So this is a true story. I had a woman show up and she said, when will my dirty rotten ex get his? And I said, I can't answer that for you. And she said, I know you can. You've told me all these things, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at her and I said, yeah, but when he comes and asks me when he's going to get his, then we'll talk about it. But not for you. I call that cosmic spying. I don't particularly like it. So if people, will this work for people who don't believe? Why would they do this? If they didn't believe it, you could have them toss it. They could see how close it came. So we got two things. We got a sacral and a heart. And then I'm going to be done. Okay. We're going to do sacral first because I saw it first. Okay. Sacral is creativity, so we're going to throw the mind on the board for sacral. Re-straight. Okay, doesn't like the mind. Okay, we're going to use the spirit for the creativity. Okay. You got the corners of, you're at the corner of the past to go for it, root chakra and sacral. So your spirit is compelling you to go after something you already did, you already know how to do, and you gave it up. It could be like old piano lessons, it could be like old art lessons, but you're going to need to go back and recreate that spiritual creativity. And then and your mind wanted off the board, but I'm putting it in heart. Yeah, this is, you're afraid to go do what you want to do. You're afraid to use your creativity because you're afraid that you won't make as much money doing it. But the clarity for you is in the doing. It's in the moving forward and getting it done. Your body needs to anchor you in and make you understand when you feel really good about it, then you'll go for it. And that quartz kind of wandered over there. I guess the quartz is saying you're grounded in the path forward. I've never had that happen. That stone rolled over. So, girl, you got a bonus stone. Okay, I'm going to do somebody's heart. We'll start with the spirit again since it seems to like doing that better. I'm doing not so good. This is why I need to get rest. Okay. Your spirit here is by the heart and the earth. You don't trust your heart. You think your heart tells you false things. I'm going to see why, what part of your basics aren't balanced. Okay. Your clarity, your mind knows what it needs to go ahead and do. And you pick that up again. You've got water. Your values are moving forward. Your body's moving forward. You need to let go of the false preconceptions you have in your heart. That's what's blocking your heart chakra. You're listening to false dialogues. You're listening to something someone else told you before that doesn't come from you. It comes from, we can't have that. That's too much for us. What makes you think those people would want to talk to you? All those kinds of things that people say to us. And I think a lot of times parents say that to kids, or adults say that to kids because they don't want them to be disappointed. But I talked about her yesterday, and if you want to work on some of that negative speech, and that's what unblocked my heart so I could start channeling and bringing all this stuff in. I listened to a therapist that's on YouTube called Marissa Peer, Marisa, and her last name is Peer, Peer. And she's a Brit. I have no problem with that because my parents were Canadians and my second husband was British. So I have no trouble understanding her. She has a very middle, what they call a middle Atlantic accent. You should not have any trouble with her either. She's really good at pointing out how to deal with positive speech. I could sit here and lecture you about it all day long. She does it in a much more concise way. Yeah, if someone didn't believe it, you could say, we're just playing this game and see what happens. Oh, the quilt lady wants to sew something for Katz's business. I have cats. Their cats are wonderful, and cat products sell, and people love their cats. So that sounds like a good idea. I read the heart chakra. I'm not going to read it again because it'll get mixed up. It'll be two people's energy. We are at 45 minutes. Once again, I want to tell you where you can go and find this game if it moves you and you want to try it. Go into the store and help me move this product because I've got a lot of heart and soul in this myself. Let's do a quick thing on how the garden's going for me. You can read yourself on this, I found out, and that's the first time I've had a thing other than a pendulum that I could read for myself. Oh, it's harmonizing my mind, which I would totally agree with. The path forward is controlling my body, my values are there, the clarity's there, and spirit is moving forward. And trust me, I know this game is not done. I'm just beginning to touch the first part of it with my spirit. That's such a good reading, and I'm going to stop now. I really am. I want to thank each and every one of you who showed up. I'm going to take a couple days off, and then I'm going to connect up with a couple people who've had the game for a little bit, and we're going to do side-by-sides on my YouTube channel. We probably won't be set up with this setup. This is a streaming live setup that my son, who does all this stuff for a living, came up with, and it makes it much easier for me to show you what's going on. I thank you all for showing up. I thank you for being here. If you know anyone who would like to know more information, please share and forward this on. If you're not a member, please subscribe. I forget to tell people to do that. But if I can do this, then I don't have to do those outside membership things that readers do. I don't know how they can run a show and teach things. But anyway, I'll be doing more with the grid. I'm planning on doing a very special set of programs with Danny Shea and Medium Kim and another gentleman who I don't know. But we're going to talk about how to plan for transition for ourselves and for our loved ones. And I hope you'll come join me on that little escapade. And I'm really excited. So many people have shown up. And I'm excited that you've shown up, each and every one of you. For those who know about the drawing from Lilac Lavender, I'm going to be doing that this afternoon. And I will let the person know who got the garden. I will also send a little message to the people who didn't win the garden and talk to you about that. Anyway, thank you so much for being here. And